understood what I just said. While American Sign Language is the fourth most common language in the United States, the most people who use it are deaf or hard of hearing. With that being said, I believe that a class should be required in high school talking about American Sign Language. I want to be a teacher for deaf and hard of hearing students, and I'm very passionate about this topic and have done extensive research. Today, I'm going to explain the problems with not knowing American Sign Language, how we can fix these problems, and I'll give you a glimpse into what the world would look like when we can all communicate with each other. First, the problem I have found is American Sign Language is not widely offered as an option in American high schools. Since communication plays such a major role in our lives, these skills are necessary for our day-to-day interactions. As hearing people, we can easily communicate our needs and desires by simply opening our mouth, speaking, and usually the person next to us can hear what we say. For those who cannot hear, their struggles are living a nightmare. They can't communicate what they need just with anybody. These people have to communicate by pointing or having someone around them that knows sign language. There's such a stigma surrounding the deaf culture that according to the National Institute on Deafness and Other Communication Disorders, only 1 in 5 people who would benefit from a hearing aid actually wear one. That means 80% of people who would benefit from a hearing aid don't wear one because of the fear of looking different. Now that I've explained the lack of understanding and accessibility of American Sign Language, I would like to share my ideas on how we can be more inclusive. Second, my solution is to implement an American Sign Language course in high school, which would be required for graduation. Over time, this course would become like a general education class, much like your math, history, science, and humanities courses that are already required. Much like an English class, this class would piece together thoughts and your ideas that you need to communicate. Kirsten Poston, a board member for the National Association of Deaf People, wrote, "Wouldn't it be neat if everyone knew some basic form of American Sign Language? That would knock down so many barriers." And I could not agree more. If all school districts were to create a course teaching American Sign Language, it would normalize the language. Benzo Ogunnipe, president of the National Black Deaf Advocates, says that it is important that most individuals who are sensory impaired see themselves as normal people living normal lives. Now I understand that implementing a class in schools can be quite expensive. So for those smaller schools who might not be able to afford the class, they can go to their school district and ask the school district to offer the class. And even if that is too expensive, multiple school districts can work together and make a cooperative where the class is still beneficial. By requiring an American Sign Language course to graduate high school, we are helping students develop skills for the future. Third, I would just like you to take a moment and imagine a world where hearing and non-hearing people alike can communicate seamlessly. The Chicago Tribune wrote in 2017, in the US alone, 20% of individuals suffer from hearing loss or damage. That means, once again, 1 in 5. Out of all of the people in this room, I am one of those 1 in 5. I suffered an injury when I was younger and have permanent hearing damage in my left ear. Katie Ravito, in her article about the importance of American Sign Language in schools, wrote that as of 2015, 360 million people worldwide have seriously debilitating hearing loss. As most of us in this room are college students, several of us have found jobs in the customer service industry. Working in the customer service industry, we come into contact with people of all walks of life. Recently, in St. Augustine, Florida, a Starbucks has opened an option in their drive-thru where you can video chat with the barista. So while you're sitting there in your car, you can have a conversation in sign language with your barista, so you don't have to get out and face the cold like it is today. I personally have experienced this as well. I went to a farmer's market with my grandmother one time, and we were sitting there and a lady comes up and she was not responding to any of my questions. So I looked at her, I got her attention, and I said, "Hey, are you deaf?" I cannot tell you the amazement on this woman's voice that someone in the hearing world could communicate with her. She was so excited. So to wrap things up today, American Sign Language should be a required course in American high schools. First, I addressed the problem that American Sign Language isn't widely offered in American high schools. Second, I talked about my solution, which is implementing an American Sign Language course, which would be required for graduation. Third, we looked at the benefits of a world in which hearing and non-hearing people can communicate without a translator. I urge you to get involved today and take action by going to moveon.org and signing the petition, American Sign Language in Schools. Thank you.